Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the June 25th, 2024 School Board Manatee County Regular Board Meeting. I would like to call this meeting to order and ask Ms. Spray if she can do the reading of the district's vision and then the introduction for invocation.
Sure. The school district of Manatee County will be an exemplary, student-focused school system that develops lifelong learners to be globally competitive. I'd like to welcome up to the dais, to the podium, Miss Becky, Pastor Becky from Resonate Life Church. I'm stumbling really bad, so sorry.
We can all rise. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight as we gather for this Manatee County School Board meeting. We invite your presence among us as we seek wisdom and guidance in making decisions that will impact the lives of our students, our teachers, and our community. As we begin, we reflect on the words of Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. May we trust you, Lord, as we navigate the challenges and the opportunities before us. We lift up all administrators, teachers, school guards, officials in our school. May you grant them wisdom, patience, and compassion as they serve our students each day. Strengthen them in their roles, Lord, and may they be the source of light and inspiration to all that they encounter. I pray that this summer break for each of them will be a time of safety, refreshment, and a refueling in preparation for next year's school year. We pray for unity among our school community, that you may work together in harmony for the betterment of our students. Help us to see each other with grace and understanding, recognizing the value that each individual brings to our schools. We ask for your protection over our school district and each school. Lord, that you may make them a place of safety, learning, and growth for all who enter their doors. Guide us in the creating of an atmosphere and an environment where each of the students feel valued, supported, and empowered to reach their full potential. Oh Lord, we ask now that you would come and guide each decision that is made this evening, and that your grace would be there for each conversation and each comment. And we pray all this up in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Moving on to the approval of the agenda, the chair has found good cause to amend the agenda to include all items listed under the agenda amendments on June 25th, 2024 agenda, updated June 21st, 2024, and posted to the district website, manateeschools.net. We also have a agenda amendment currently that we need to update. So, Dr. Weissong, if you want to elaborate.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, board members. Consent item number 11, which is approval of the purchase of Teachtown curriculum products and licenses. There was an attachment omitted from that item. That was just a staff error, and so in the interest of transparency, I'd like to pull that item, and we'll bring it back at the July meeting with the correct attachment.
So I'm looking for a motion to accept that amendment.
So moved.
I'll second.
A motion and a second on the floor, so let's vote on that amendment being added. We'll just do it on the manually. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Seeing none opposed, passes 5-0. So now we can. Now I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second, and that should be in Granicus if I was in.
All I have is a second.
Who has the second?
Granicus working or no?
I'm here.
don't see it on my end.
There we go.
There we go. All right, let's go ahead and vote on the approval of the agenda. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Move on to item number 6, recognition. We got some student celebration. Mr. Barber?
Thank you, Mr. Board Chair, board members, and Superintendent Wysong. I was a sports writer for approximately 15 years before I came to Braden and started covering the school district, which ultimately led me here. I'm very thankful for that. But I covered, while I was a sports writer, I covered high school sports all over the state of Florida, and came across a lot of great stories. But I don't know if I've ever come across one that's as sort of amazing as this, student story. But let me tell you a little bit about him. His name is Cale Bunce. He's a student at Palmetto High School, and in April of this year, he accomplished a rare feat in high school athletics. He won his 3rd straight individual state championship, and it was in weightlifting. Just to give you an idea of how difficult that is, do you know how many NFL teams have won 3 straight Super Bowls? None. So he's won 3 straight, but here's the kicker. He still has a year of high school left.
Oh, my goodness.
He can leave high school with 4 straight state championships.
No pressure.
Yeah. But he won his first Class 3A state title in weightlifting in April of 2022. He was competing in the snatch competition at 169 pounds. And at that time, he was a 14-year-old freshman. We'll be showing some photos on the monitors as we go through this. He won his second Class 3A state title in April 2023, competing in the Olympic competition, which is a combination of the snatch and the clean and jerk at 183 pounds. At that time, he was a 15-year-old sophomore. This past April, he won his 3rd straight Class 3A state title in the Olympic competition again, and again, it was at the 169 pounds, so he went back down to 169 pounds for that. And of course, he was a 16-year-old junior at that time. How old are you now?
17.
Okay, he's 17 now. It's just an amazing accomplishment. I don't remember in my whole time, being around high school sports, coming across anybody that basically won 3 in a row, much less have an opportunity to win 4 in a row. So I'm glad that he was able to be here. In fact, you couldn't be here at an earlier meeting. Can you tell us why you weren't here for that meeting?
Probably working. Something.
Well,
Doing something.
I actually think I heard that you were in another competition.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was in Peru for World Championships.
Wow.
And how did you do in that competition?
Not too great.
Oh, okay.
It's all right.
It's the world, though.
But that's he's reached a level where he's competing in world competitions. So we have here Palmetto High Athletic Director Brian Wilkes, and Brian would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Board, for honoring Cale. We really are proud of him. When you win 1 state championship, that's great. 2, amazing. I mean, winning 3 is the dream of every athletic high school kid in the nation. Cale, what's your personal best in the clean and jerk?
335.
So he's lifting 335 pounds and he weighs 169 pounds. Well, now he weighs 165. He's lost a little bit of weight. But at this time, I just want to say we are proud of him. We're going to give him, this is his 2nd year ring, because we're trying to design a special 3rd year ring for him. And we'll go ahead without jinxing it. We're going to do a 4th year ring, start designing it also. Hopefully we'll be able to give it to him. But I want to do this without acting like I'm not going to marry him. So, but Cale, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, young man. Yep, you're welcome.
Cale, would you like to say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't have to.
Yes, sir.
Definitely don't have to.
I just want to say thank you to everybody, friends, family, Wilkes, God, everybody. Really appreciate it. Can't be here without them. That's it.
Awesome. And your parents are here?
Hey, Mom. Oh, yeah. My mom's name's Tony. My dad's name's Steve. And they're pretty cool parents. They help me a lot.
Let me get a picture of your ring. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You guys, just look
Thank
forward to
you.
seeing you next year.
Thank you.
Yep,
I hope so.
absolutely.
Congratulations.
That's cool.
Okay. Now, this is a chance that we don't get to, something we don't get to do that often, and that's recognize the school board of Manatee County. But we appreciate all that you do. And we have a very special guest. It's Carol J. Cook. She's a leadership development consultant with the Florida School Boards Association. And she's here specifically to give an award to you all. I also want to say about Carol, she is a 6-term school board member for Pinellas County Schools. And my understanding is you're stepping away in November. So you've earned your time there. So I'll turn it over to you.
All righty, very good. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, school board members, and superintendent and staff. It is an honor to be here today, to be able to spend some more time with you, but also to recognize you for a job well done. You have spent 20 hours in professional development learning to become a strong leadership team. This is always a work in progress, and oftentimes we want to get to that fact where we're perfect and we have done it. Well, it's a work in progress, as I said, and so just getting better and better and better each time is what we ask for. What we had an opportunity to do this time is as soon as Dr. Wysong joined you, we had an opportunity to come together and have some conversation about how do you become a strong leadership team. And we incorporated that into the master board training. You've spent 20 hours and set an example for your staff that professional development is important. And so I thank you for doing that. And today I am here to recognize you. From the Florida School Boards Association, we recognize Manatee County as a certified master board with each one of your names on here. So we want to congratulate you on working to become a good, strong leadership team. We hope that you remembered some of the things. We worked on developing trust. We looked at communication efforts. We looked at what are our roles and responsibilities. How can you best work with the new superintendent coming in? What kinds of things need to be added? What kinds of things do we need to say that we have accomplished and moved on. So I hope you found it to be helpful and that you found it to be worthwhile. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and I am honored to be able to present this plaque today.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We're going to come down and accept it. And
All righty.
Beautiful plaque. Can you tilt it this way because this?
Claire,
Yeah.
is it good enough?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
okay.
I will give it to you.
Oh, thanks.
There you go.
And Mary, do you want to come around?
Balance it out. Okay.
All right. That's good. All right. There's no school board behind you. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Uh-huh. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, drive safe.
Freedom.
Thanks, sir. You did a great job. I'm good.
Oh, you too.
Take care.
Good luck.
Thanks, Bob.
Mhm.
So, no, congratulations. Other board members, I know that's, you don't have to go through master board training. It's something obviously we've chosen to do. It's definitely a worthwhile process. And I appreciate everybody doing that and taking time out of other scheduled events and things like that to do the master board training. I do think we learned a lot about each other and how best to communicate. And so it was great. And thank you, Carol. You were phenomenal.
She was.
Moving on to public comment. No public comment? All right. Moving on to the consent item. And remember, it was number 11 that is removed. So Superintendent Weissong.
Thank you, Chairman and board members. I recommend approval of the modified consent agenda for the school board meeting on June 25th, 2024.
So moved.
I'll second.
Sympatica. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the consent items for this evening. So let's go ahead and vote on those items. And that passes 5-0. Moving on to item number 11, new business. Item number 1, Superintendent Weissong.
I'm stuck.
Thank you, Chairman. I recommend approval of advertising a notice of intent to amend school board policies to include new policies and setting a public hearing at the special school board meeting on July 30th, 2024. And for the record, there are 27 policies under review. And those numbers include 1210, 3210, 4210, 1217, 3217, 4217, 1242, 3242, 4242, 1362, 3362, 4362, and 2120, 2210, 2271, 5517.01, 5772, 7217, 7540, 7540.04, 8305, 8330, 8405, 8600, 8600.04, and 8651.
I missed the 17th one. Can you?
Yes, we can go back for you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Weissong.
We're stuck.
I know we had looked, just FYI, we looked at this already at workshop.
Well, if the board
Will be.
approves the notice now, we'll workshop on Thursday.
Correct.
And then bring it back for final approval in the public hearing in July.
Perfect. Thank you.
We are stuck in Granicus.
So we have our, Granicus looks like it is.
Yeah, I
Can we
want
recycle that?
Okay, I will move that we approve the advertising notice to intent.
Okay, thank you. We have our motion by Ms. Messenger. Any second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Spray. Any other public or board comment?
We're gonna have conversation on Thursday.
Yeah, talk about Thursday. All right, everybody in favor? Oh, nope, it is on Granicus. So let's go ahead and vote on item number 11.1, approval of the advertising notice of intent school board policies. That passes 5-0. Item number 2, Superintendent Weissong.
Thank you, Chairman. I recommend approval of a new job description and position of McKinney-Vento Program Liaison.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and second on the floor. Dr. Weissong, if you want to explain to the public a little more about this item.
Thank you, Chairman. This is a new job description. This is a grant-funded position, so there's no impact to the general fund. This position works with our students who are homeless. We've previously had a social worker completing this work and had a vacancy in that role, and the team determined that it would be of benefit to the district to craft a specific job description with the duties that go with this type of work. So that is the reason for the new job description.
Thank you. I don't see any board members lit up to speak on this item, but I think it's a fantastic thing that we're doing. Hopefully will help. Go ahead and vote on the approval of the new job description for the position of McKinney-Vento Program Liaison. And that passes 5-0. Item number 3, Superintendent Weissong.
Thank you, Chairman. I recommend approval of the reclassification of the job description and position of athletic trainer.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Dr. Weissong, brief description on this.
Thank you, Chairman. Throughout the last school year, in meeting with our high school principals and our athletic directors, a common theme was the challenge of recruiting and retaining high-quality athletic trainers. In looking at salary comparisons in other districts, and then also options related to contracting out for these services, which one of our high schools did have to do last year. Our current salary structure is not competitive. And so this adjustment reclassifies the position to a salary lane within our salaried and administrative professionals system that we believe will attract candidates. We currently have 2 open positions with potentially a third, and so the hope is that the reclassification will allow us to get great people into those positions supporting our athletes.
Thank you. Ms. Spray, you were lit up to speak?
Yeah, just a quick question on the pay range. We're going from the 54 to the 98. That's a significant jump. Now, is this going to be one individual or all athletic trainers? How many athletic trainers do we have?
We have 7 athletic trainers, 1 at each high school. That range is based on the difference between somebody who is brand new with the minimum requirements but no experience, and again, recruiting away or attracting somebody with 30 years of experience in the field. So that's why you have that range, and that all of our salary ranges are that way so that we have that flexibility.
Okay, so this is just changing the name and the pay grade. Okay, well, that's all I had. I was just curious about that.
Thank you. I see no other board members lit up to speak, so let's go ahead and vote on the approval of the reclassification of the job description and position of athletic trainer. And that passes 5-0. Moving on to item number 4, Superintendent Weissong.
Thank you, Chairman. I recommend approval of the academic calendar for school year 2025-26, and that is option B.
So moved.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. I don't know if you really want to have a description. I know we did a workshop on this and talked about it, so.
Well, thank you, Chairman. I'll just add that we put the calendar out for public comment for the 30 days, as is custom, and from the responses received, there was overwhelming preference for calendar option B, and just remember that the difference between the 2 options was whether early release days fall on a Wednesday or a Friday, and again, the purpose of that early release for our students and therefore our teachers is to offset time for teachers doing parent conference nights in the evenings, which is something a lot of our parents remarked that they missed. So that's why the calendar committee put that time back in. So the recommendation based on the public comment is for option B.
I gotta tell my nephew that we still have Mondays. Dang. All right.
Well, if you got rid of Mondays, then Monday would just be the Tuesday.
That'd be the new Monday.
Exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and vote on the approval of the academic calendar for the school year 25-26. And that passes 5-0. Item number 5 under new business, Superintendent Weissong.
Thank you, Chairman. I recommend approval to purchase PeopleSoft Administration and Support Services, SDMC contract number 25-0054-RG, estimated in the amount of $2,049,680 over 2 years.
So moved.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. And Dr. Weissong, if you want to explain what exactly that PeopleSoft does. And
Thank you, Chairman. So PeopleSoft is our ERP system that runs everything from payroll and purchasing to budget and advertising of jobs and hiring. So this is our core business system. This is a renewal of the contract with the maintenance provider for PeopleSoft. This is a 2-year renewal of the current 2-year contract. And board members, based on your feedback, we did negotiate some different language, different performance clauses within this agreement just to give the district some additional protection, and there was a slight expansion in scope of service. And thank you to Mr. Rinaldi and Mr. Hansen for negotiating the contract.
Thank you very much. We do have one board member lit up to speak. Ms. Foreman.
Okay. I am astounded at the improvement in the contract, in the improvement in the number of tickets that they are running, you know, that they're clearing. And, you know, I have consistently voted against contracts with Agitech, and this time I'm going to vote yes, because they've got standards to follow, and I know that you all are going to make him stick to them. So, so I'm very happy about that. One thing I would like to see the district do in the future, though, is start working toward moving some of this in-house. You know, if we have, you know, if he works with our business analysts and some training, I think that some of these services could be done in-house, which is something that we haven't really worked toward in the past. So that would be a good thing to look at next time the contract comes up. How many tickets were handled in-house and how many were handled by Agitech. So, but anyway, but thank you, Dr. Weissong. I know this was a lot of work, and thank you, Mr. Hansen. So.
Thank you, Ms. Foreman. Ms. Spray?
I just want to echo what Ms. Foreman said. The tickets, that if you look at that report, some of those things could be done, I believe, in-house. I'm all about keeping it here. Let's do it here. If we can do it here, then if we can't, then get contracted. But I do know that we went through extensive workshop over this whole thing, and I was very pleased when I saw the contract. I'm like, okay, there are more parameters that they have to be working under, and I appreciate all of the work that you did with this, and for Mr. Rinaldi and Mr. Hansen, it's all collectively has to come together to get it to us. So I think you did your due diligence with this. It is what it is, dollar-wise. This is a 2-year, not a 1 year. I wanted to point that out. So thank you for doing that. But we should probably look at what is mission critical for them that they have to do and what we could actually do inside. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. No other board members are lit up to speak. So let's go ahead and vote on the approval to purchase PeopleSoft Administration Support Services for the next 2 years, and that passes 5-0. Thank you, Dr. Weissong, for your recommendations. We now move to new business with no superintendent recommendation. Item number 1 under new business is approval of Citizen Financial Committee annual report for fiscal year ending in 2023. We had them at the workshop 2 weeks ago, right? I think. I don't know, it runs together. And we discussed their presentation and had them present that to us. So looking for a motion to approve the Citizen Financial Committee report.
So moved.
Oh, sorry.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Spray, second by Ms. Messenger. I do see Ms. Spray lit up to speak. Go ahead.
Myself to say that this committee worked really hard to get this report together. I want to thank staff for changing the date on the cover letter for us. And it's out there. This is what the CFOC is about, is pulling this report together and bringing all of the information they found forward. Now it's up to everybody else to review it. It's done. So hopefully going forward, we're going to not have to be in that catch-up mode and just get everything as we go along. And I just want to thank the CFOC for everything that they did. They worked diligently, and so I'm happy with all the work that they did on it.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Mr. Tatum?
Just a thank you to the people who participate in any type of civic committees. So they volunteer their time. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and vote on the approval of the Citizens Financial Committee Annual Report for fiscal year ending in 2023. And that passes 5-0. Moving on to item number 2 under new business is the approval of the superintendent evaluation as provided by the school board. Obviously, members, we got this a little bit ago. The evaluation than everybody else's. So one, looking to get the motion to approve and then see if there's any discussion.
So moved.
I'll second.
The motion and a second is on the floor. So any board members like to speak? Ms. Messenger, you're lit up.
Yeah, I just want to say that this has really been a tremendous first year. And I really want to thank you for your thoughtful leadership and that your strong commitment to student achievement. And I really, truly believe that you are an asset to our school district and our community. So I just wanted to make sure I said that publicly while we're addressing this, because it's very sincere. I feel like you have done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Foreman?
Yeah, I too thank you for being here and for all that you do. I think you have built together a wonderful team that you've earned the respect and trust of our teachers and staff, and that is no small feat, when a new person comes in from the outside, and we are just really blessed to have you. And I know great things are going to happen, so I look forward to that. Wish I could be here to do the evaluation in 2 years, so, 'cause,
Do you wish that?
You can,
No.
you can provide board work.
I'll do an evaluation
You
whether
do an evaluation,
whether it counts or not.
In 2 years.
Thank you, Ms. Foreman.
But, yeah,
I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
no, that's fine.
Okay, Mr. Chatham?
I just wanted to compliment Dr. Weissong on his, what I would call soft skills. A lot of managers don't take the time to work on that, but those are, especially the higher you go, the more important those skills are. A lot of people think that leadership is about making decisions and being out front and leading the charge, but it's really about being a facilitator of all the people here in the audience and bringing stakeholders together to facilitate decisions. And ultimately, you have to make that decision, but you only get to really good decisions by being a good facilitator who then puts the team together to give you a good decision to bring to us. So I'd like to congratulate you on your soft skills, and hopefully you and your team will continue to work on that, because it is all about relationships. And one of the best things I learned from the leadership training I used to do was from Covey, and their research shows that the number one reason that people don't trust each other is because they don't know each other. And so the idea that you've gotten out into the schools and your team too, and gotten to know the principals and the teachers and the other members of your leadership team, that's how you build trust. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I'll just echo same sentiments. I mean, I think it's been a very good year, and I appreciate your willingness to, especially those first 100 days, get to the schools and get out there and throw the first pitch and, do coin tosses and do the things you did and talk to the Kiwanis and talk to the chamber and do all those things that you did. You certainly don't necessarily have to do those things, but it's fantastic. And that's how I believe in this community. We're growing, but we're still a small town feel sometimes. And I'm really happy with how you've jumped in and became someone said today a Manatonian. Where did we hear that this morning? That was a Mr. Chapman word, a Manatonian. So it was great. Next, we'll have to get you to be a Cortesian. We'll get you out of Cortez. I knew Mr. Dowry to laugh at that one. So no, I really appreciate it, and I do want to appreciate the board. We changed evaluation this year to a new system, and I really thought it was well. I'll thank Ms. Cook. We stole Pinellas. I believe it was Pinellas's form, so thank you very much. And I really liked the form. I thought it was good. So thanks to the board for that. But really good year. Looking forward to better things for next year. Ms. Spray?
Again, thank you. Just, when you go through life cycles, like we talked about earlier, you're either on this side evaluating or you're being evaluated. It's harder for me to evaluate than it is to be evaluated. So my score may not be indicative of what I believe, because I'm like, okay, how do I gauge that when this is a whole new arena for me? And it is not because I don't believe in you, because you know I do. 100% believe in you. And I'm looking forward to, I know there's been some hard decisions that you've had to make this past year. And I think that moving forward, you're just going to gain more and more confidence in some of those decisions and move forward with it. But I think that you're doing a wonderful job. And anyone that they've said, thank you for bringing him down. Until I get to people I know in Seminole, you took him. So that's the way the community sees you, as well as your colleagues here, your cabinet. You're well respected among your cabinet members, and all the way out to the custodian and the cafeteria workers that we talked to with every tour that we did. They all appreciate that interaction. So I just want to commend you on being out there and being that approachable superintendent that you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Round two.
Round two, yeah. No, this is a going forward thing. I know that someone had put on the list at a workshop to discuss Dr. Weissong's salary, but I would also like the board prior to that to consider and think about extending the contract. It was a 3-year contract, he's got 2 years left. And I think we need to tie him up while we can.
Thank you.
I just want to point out, in your list of things that you've seen him do, the tosses and the coin, we've never seen you sing the national anthem at an event.
Oh.
So
Has anybody
Noted.
there?
Add that.
I'm
add
just
that.
saying.
Subtract.
That might trigger that termination without cause. Oh, you don't want to do that.
Add that to the spring training game. All right. So we've all got our chances to comment, and we can now vote on the approval of the superintendent evaluation as provided by the school board, and that passes 5-0. Item number 3 under new business, the approval to purchase security and vulnerability testing services from Silent Group, not to exceed $82,680. We had a shade meeting on this, and we were just finalizing the value. So looking for a motion to approve.
I will move. So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board discussion? I don't see anyone lit up. Yes, I
Other than-
do, Ms. Spray.
Yeah. Even through the workshop that we did through Shade, I can't wholeheartedly support this item. I'm just not quite over the top with it. Just because you don't get to see it all. You only get the presentation. You get that little bit. And it's such a hike. This is a big hike from last year to now. So to me, I know it's one of the things that you're on the committee for, and I can see your discontent there, but I understand we have to have all of these things in place. I just don't feel good that we've done a lot of outreach to other companies to do this type of work for us. I think it's been solely directed to one vendor in particular, so that's why I really have a hard time supporting it, because I didn't get any consensus that we did put it out for a bid for other companies to do this for us.
All right.
Sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Foreman, or Ms. Spray. Ms. Foreman, you're up to speak.
Yes, I just want to point out the hike. I mean, actually, the rate does not go up, but the services are going up for this coming year. There's an extra testing that he's doing, that he does every 2 years. He explained that in the workshop. And then there's also a training period, or training, a tabletop exercise that he's going to do with the board and cabinet. So that is the reason for the increase. And if, I, I get it, you know, perhaps you want to get another, taken out for bid. But as far as this particular contract goes, and as far as this particular timing, it's expired on July 1, so we need to have cybersecurity in place. And that would be a question for a different time as to whether you want to go out for bid from someone else. So, and I will tell you, from being the board's liaison with cybersecurity, which I think is, you know, that's a we've been down that road, but he's amazing, and his credentials and the company are first class. They came to us via Carr, Riggs and Ingram back when they worked together. They were a subcontract under CRI to handle cybersecurity that CRI recommended them. And I don't think we've ever had any issue. If you have concerns, he's worked very closely with Todd Hansen, so you could talk to him as well and get his take on it. But I can assure you that this is a fair price, a good contract, and a good company. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other board members lit up to speak, let's go and vote on the approval to purchase security and vulnerability testing services from Silent Group, not to exceed $82,680. And it passes with 4 yeses and 1 no, being Ms. Spray. That is it for new business. So we are moving on to updates from our instructional staff first. Mr. Jensen.
Good evening, Chair Choate, board members, Superintendent Wysong. First of all, we're reaching the end of June, which means that a lot of our summer camps are wrapping up. That includes our Visual Performing Arts Camp, Camp Creator. They're all finishing this week. But we do have programs running into July as well. Everything's off next week for the week of the 4th, but we'll have things like 3rd grade summer reading camp and other activities happening in July as well. Speaking of camps, I had the absolute pleasure to visit Shark Week at King Middle School this week, where students in grades 3 through 8 are exploring shark biology through kind of a themed week. It's part of our Guy Harvey pathway from Anna Maria to King to Manatee High School, and these students were just so engaged. When I walked in, they all had small sharks in front of them, and they were exploring the shark anatomy, and it was just the level of student interest was off the charts, and they were just so invested in summer learning. And the King Middle School campus looks absolutely beautiful and decked out in that Guy Harvey marine biology branding. So I encourage you to take a look at it when you get the chance. Speaking of wonderful activities, we have our MTC graduation week going on this week. So yesterday we had our law enforcement graduation, and then Wednesday and Thursday we have our MTC graduation ceremonies for programs starting at 6 p.m. on the main campus. And then just some quick updates from the last instructional updates I did earlier this month. Science instructional materials, we're still waiting for state approval on kind of that final list that the state releases of what they bet. So we're still kind of doing all the stuff in the background to get ready for that, and we'll have a much more substantial update for you on the progress of that instructional materials adoption and what we're doing for science in 24-25 at the 723 board meeting. And then same for school grades and school district data. No releases yet from the state, but by the time we reach that 723 board meeting, we'll have a much more substantial instructional update around that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's the only one we're waiting on then, right? Still, that's the only, okay, right.
Operations update, Mr. Rinaldi.
Good evening, Chairman Choate, board members, Dr. Weissong. Quick human resource update. We're presently standing with instructional vacancies right at 60 across the entire district. However, we had today, this morning, a virtual brazen teacher and para job fair. We had 286 candidates who registered, 159 attended online. We had 371 chats, and those were conducted by the hiring managers. So hopefully we'll be reducing that 60 number fairly shortly. Job offers are to be determined, and I'll bring you an update at the next board meeting. The last operational job fair was held on June 20th at Wakeland. There were 100 attendees. We had 12 job offers, 3 were custodial positions, and 9 were for food service. Transportation interviewed a total of 33 attendees, 11 drivers, 22 aides, and 1 vehicle mechanic, which is critical. There were 4 drivers that actually had their CDLs already, so immediately upon their application, which they're working on right now, there will be offers made to them. In addition to that, they're going to be making offers for 7 bus aides in addition as well. So very, very good job fair. Our next operational job fair, we haven't identified the date, but it will be in mid-July, and it will be at the Wakeland Center as well. Little update on transportation. The summer school and the extended school year routes are underway. There are a total of 33 routes presently in operation, and we have 7 drivers that are assigned to field trips as well. So they're keeping busy this summer. Positions for the new van drivers are advertised and posted. Interviews are scheduled to commence the week of July 8th. At the present time, we have 3 internal applicants, bus aides, which are good, is what we wanted to see, and 3 external applicants at this time. So that positions will be posted through July 5th, so we still have some time if anyone wants to submit their name. The long-awaited bus wash is finally underway, being assembled, so we'll have clean buses and clean white fleet by mid-July is what the contractor is predicting, but you know how contractors go, so we're thinking maybe the end of July. Routes for the upcoming 24-25 school year are under development. Will be completed with those on July 22nd. We'll be refining those into August, and then when we get into our back to school conference, we'll be doing the dry runs and working through those as well. So we're moving forward. And finally, food service. The summer food service program, just a quick update. For the first 4 weeks of the program, we've increased by 24%. To date, we have served 109,000 meals, over 88,600 last year, so it's a nice increase. And we'd like to recognize a new program that's coming out is Manatee County Library staff is reading to the students during the lunch hour out at the Pride Park, so please bring your child out and have a book read to them by the county staff. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Naldi, I can't get on that. Are we required to provide transportation for summer school? Is that a legal requirement like it is during the year?
Yeah, if it is, if it's for the ESE, which is the ESY program, then it's required. And if it's a recovery program as well, it's required there as well.
Under the same rules, 2-mile ring and all that?
Yep, yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, legal update. Mr. Dye, anything?
No report.
All right. Guess that's a good one. That's a good thing.
You worn out?
Superintendent remarks. Dr. Weissong.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to Mr. Dye, who's been wearing 2 hats for about 6 weeks. And at our next meeting at the end of July, we'll have our new general counsel in his seat, and Mr. Dye can go back to 1 schedule instead of 2. But I know the team's really enjoyed getting to work with you on all of the kind of routine business, and we appreciate you, Mr. Dye. Board members, thank you for your approval of the consent agenda tonight. There were 32 items, many of these getting us ready for the 24-25 school year. Just a couple of highlights. You approved the renewal of our contract with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office to provide school resource officers in all of our secondary schools now. That's in addition to our Guardian program. Mr. Rinaldi and Mr. D'Amico and I recently visited with Sheriff Wells and his command team, and we're very grateful for that partnership. We look forward to working with them next year, not only on safety and security, but hopefully on some curriculum and student support activities as well. Secondly, you approved a new contract with a group called Graduation Alliance. They will be a new contracted services site for us in Manatee County, offering online classes and support to students who have either already dropped out or at risk of dropping out and need a solution other than the range of services available at our 7 high schools. And so we're excited to welcome them to Manatee County. They are working in several other Florida districts, and we're looking forward to offering their services as another option for seniors, or juniors and seniors who need assistance. And finally, board members, you gave us the green light to take the next steps related to a future potential property purchase in the northwestern part of the county for a future elementary site that would open in the fall of 2026 in the Artisan Lakes area, and that's about a 28-acre property that we're very excited about. Recently, Mr. Rinaldi and Mr. Clark, Mr. Goff and Mr. Penley and I spent a morning driving both out to that site, but also to 5 others, including our K-8 and our middle school that are scheduled to open in the fall of 2025. There are walls up for multiple buildings now at the middle school site, and foundations poured and walls to start appearing soon at the K-8 site. So we're excited to be moving forward. And we know by the construction teams are making a lot of progress on those sites this summer. Board members, with regards to the earlier conversation on my evaluation, I appreciate your feedback both here tonight and your comments on your individual forms. From my perspective, it was a great year. I have just so enjoyed the first year being superintendent here in this beautiful community, and everyone's been wonderful in terms of this first year. I think that getting our master board plaque tonight was certainly appropriate. Unbeknownst to each of you at the time, going through master board right away was something I talked to each of you about individually in the second day on the one-on-one interviews, and I think that helped us set the stage for a great year. But I've enjoyed the opportunity to get to work with each of you individually, building this team. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the members of the cabinet and the principals. The superintendent's evaluation is also a reflection of the leadership team and the work that got done. It's not really about me, it's about the whole team and the work that they do. And again, all of the data are trending up, and I think we've built a lot of momentum, and I just appreciate all of the department heads and the principals for their leadership. And finally, if you'll permit me a personal privilege, just a thank you to my wife and son. They gave up a lot for me to get this opportunity here in Manatee County, and I appreciate them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move to board comments. Mr. Tatum, Ms. Foreman, Ms. Messenger, Ms. Spray, and myself. Mr. Tatum?
Okay, let's start out with safety. So you've heard turn around, don't drown. As I was driving home from something last night, I felt like I was going to drown. It was just, so remember that, turn around, don't drown, right? If nothing else, you'll ruin your car, and that's expensive, and sometimes your insurance won't pay for it if you intentionally drive into a flood, so don't do that. Turn around, don't drown. And then I was at the law enforcement graduation last night for MTC, and it was like the old days, right? You had the color guard come down, all these people in uniform. It was just like being back in the military again, but that's a great event. Everybody there, There were some police officers there, new police officers, different from sheriffs, right? So the Bradenton Police Department was there, the Holmes Beach Police Department was there. I don't want to leave anybody out. The sheriffs were there, and all the cadets up there, I think there were 18 or 20 of them. They all have jobs coming right out of the chute. And actually, I know it's true for the sheriffs, but I think it's true for the police departments too, is that their training was paid for by they were recruited, and there was a selection process. Their training was paid for by either the police departments or the sheriff's department. And those are $65,000 a year jobs with full benefits. So it just goes to show that vocational training is happening in our county. It is a way forward. It's a good pathway. I mean, not everybody maybe is cut out to be a law enforcement officer, but there are a lot of good programs at MTC that have that same type of potential. I don't know if training gets paid for necessarily, but I would just encourage us to keep looking and keep pushing vocational training, because that was a great example of a great program that's happening in our county. And those are my comments today. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Foreman.
Last week, I attended the Florida School Finance Officers Association, which is the group consisting of district CFOs, district financial officers, and it's an interesting perspective from, you know, we come in and we say, okay, here's the budget, make it work, you know, and they have to find a way to do it. So it was very interesting, and a lot of good breakout sessions. A couple things that I wanted to bring back from it. Actually, three things. One is there was a discussion of the capital markets. You know, we go to the capital markets to finance our construction, the new schools. And that person was saying that 3% reserve required by the state of Florida is not enough. He says if you're at 3%, you're close to broke. And he said that, for example, Alabama their state law requires 8%. So, you know, we have made our policy, you know, minimum of 5, up to 8, and you know, so I'm glad we did that, and just thought it was very interesting. The second was there was a discussion by the gentleman who's the attorney for the superintendent group, and he was pointing out some of the things in the new legislation, and one of the things, and I may be aware of it, but for hurricane shelters, staffing by the school district is no longer required, and they say look to the interlocal agreement with the county. So I don't, you know, thought that was interesting. I don't know that any of our principals would let people run amok in their schools, you know, but you know, that's good to know that we don't have too much of a requirement. And then he talked about security, and just threw out a lot of the problems that we're going to be experiencing where we have to keep doors locked or attended. It's talking about, you know, cafeteria doors, you know, if it's a separate building, driveway gates. If Saturdays, he says there's a lot of activities going on in multiple locations, so you may have to have multiple people attending that. And then even church rentals, if a church has got students, they're going to be subject to it, you know, or students of our age. And the other, I thought you would find this one amusing. One of the sessions was about transportation, how they calculate the transportation cost or budget. And I said, great. So I went in there. The first slide says, first, the legislature gives a number, and they've increased it this year to $554 million or something like that. And then they go on and talk about how it's allocated. But they could not answer the question of how does the legislature get to $454 million, because we know that that's only about half of what we need. And so it wasn't helpful at all, you know, unless you're really into, you know, amount per person and per ESE student, but they're starting with a number and then they just increase it. So they're just perpetuating the shortfall. So just wanted to complain. So, but I really enjoyed it. Miss Sellers and Miss Miley were there, and I think we all got something out of it. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Messenger?
I don't think I have anything to add. Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Spry?
Well, I was gonna say to Mr. Tatum's point of safety, parents, students, you're responsible for safety at our schools just as much as our staff is. So you can be the eyes and ears at sporting events. If you see kids getting out unruly, let the staff know. I'm sure we'll deal with it. I can't pull up the resignations or the, people who retired because Granicus is frozen, and that's the list I usually go by. So I want to thank everybody that's retiring. Thank you for your years of service. And thanks to the staff for being patient with me this past week. It's been a little challenge for me. Thanks for the quick briefing right before the 2 o'clock meeting that we had. So I got a lot of my questions answered in a real brief period this afternoon. So other than that, thank you, board. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Just real quick, thank you to staff and Dr. Wysong for putting the agenda together with the consent items. I do think sometimes we overlook those consent items. It's a quick and easy vote, but there's a lot of stuff. That's the meat and potatoes and a lot of stuff going on there. I do want to thank whether it be Dr. Wysong, who invited us to, and I got to attend, go to the Portrait of a Graduate today, the third meeting of that, and how we are building and bringing in not only our educators, but outside people from the community to come in and say, what kind of student do we want to build to become a productive citizen in our community? And it was a really good event. We'll see it as it obviously culminates and finishes, but I think we're really going to be able to see, and a lot of this is already going on in our classrooms already, but really to be able to put competencies to say this is where we want our students to be after 12th grade, and be that model of hopefully a good productive citizen. I think it's really, really neat. So I want to thank, however that kind of came about. I know as Dr. Wysong was kind of cleaning out his drawers and things like that in Seminole and coming over, I think he said, hey, this is something that he wanted to do. So I really appreciate that. Again, just something else being brought. Early this year, it was the seniors and bringing the seniors together, kind of getting their feel and what they've gone through the last 4 years and bringing them. And this is just something else I think added on that we've never done before in the district. And I think it's going to pay dividends years down the road. I think that we're really going to be able to look back and say that we are producing really good citizens to our community based on, this collaboration of folks coming together and building what we would like our students to be. So appreciate you for bringing that on. And I know Mr. Chapman was there, Mr. Edwards was there, the district and some others. So I really appreciate that. Other than that, we are getting together again Thursday. So we'll see you Thursday for our workshop, and we are adjourned.